Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Innovation Alley. We're your hosts. I'm TowelManPurple,
I'm Bjorn.
and today we are going to go over two separate versions of Emerald Ruby to enjoy our holiday season with a Christmas theme. All right, but before we do that, I do have to mention, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button down below. Stay up to date on all the content.
Which is two Innovation Alley videos every single week.
That's awesome. So, to kick us off, Bjorn's Emerald Ruby list. Go ahead and tell us what we got going on here, man.
God jul! Ho ho ho! It's the Swedish Santa coming at you with an Emerald Ruby uh, super turbo questing faster than you can blink list. Um, we're starting off with the one drops. Cursed Merfolk, which quests for 2, and opponent has to discard a card when they challenge it. Fred, which quests for 1, but when he is challenged, you gain 2 lore, so he basically quests for 3, you could say. Pegasus, which is evasive, and also, so that will also probably quest for at least 3 lore, because it's difficult for opponent to deal with it. Then for 2, we have Bonsai, which quests for 2, but it's a 3/2. That's really big stats, right? For a quester. Opponent's really gonna feel that when they challenge him to take him away.
Yeah, that's a well
We
statted
got
hyena for sure.
we got Flynn, which, not great stats. However, same as Curse Merfolk, the opponent has to discard a card when they challenge him, and you don't want to do that, especially not like early on in the game. Go Tamago, which, just like Pegasus, is evasive. However, if you are in the later game, if it's not turn 2, you can play it for 4 and then just gain a bunch of lore from nowhere. It's like Goat gives you 1 lore, and that's super cute. She can give you,
Reach.
a lot. She
Yeah.
can give you a lot. Like, what if they have a Maui that has taken like 4 damage from taking out 2 of your things, and you just gain 4 lore like that? It's ridiculous.
That's awesome.
Absolutely ridiculous card. Yep. Then we have Olivia Flaversham. Uh, is this like Hiram's a daughter or something? I think so.
It is. It's the toy maker's
Uh,
daughter.
oh yeah. I don't remember the movie that well, but yeah, she quests for 3 and only costs 2, so that's insane. We love that.
Yep.
We have Simba that does the same. Uninkable 2 cost quest for 3. So that's just makes us go fast. Brr. We got the Ursula, which is what she's not good at questing. However, you get to choose a song in your opponent's hand and just take it away from them, which is super useful since, both Steel and Ruby has a bunch of scary things you don't want them to sing.
Right.
Uh,
Protection.
yeah, and we also got Lumiere, which is protection against a lot of Ruby-based removal, right? Against big Sisu and Medusa. It makes your stuff bigger, and harder to remove. Or if they challenge into you, they're gonna take extra damage. I think Lumiere's, doesn't quest very well, but he's still very, very helpful support
Yes.
character. Then for the 3s, we have Captain Hook here, who you have featured a lot in your videos. When he's exerted, opposing pirate characters can't quest, so that's pretty cool if your opponent has like a pirate deck. But most importantly, when this character is challenged, you draw a card. So he quests for 2, and if he's challenged, you draw a card, and he has 4 willpower, so it's likely your opponent will have to challenge him twice with 2 different characters unless they have just a very big one.
2 times.
So that's awesome. Yeah, so that's some card draw. Hey. It's a 2/3 quest for 2, and that's decent. However, when you play this character, if your opponent has more cards in their inkwell than you, so if your opponent has more ink than you get to simply add an ink from nowhere. And this is great because usually you can stop inking at 3 with this deck, and maybe you get to 3 ink, then you stop inking. So as soon as your opponent is 1 turn of ink ahead, you can drop the hey and get an extra ink for free. So you don't have to use your hand to ink. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
Uh, then we got Prince Philip, who is a 3/2 that quests for 2. He's got Ward, and I think Ward is very, very, very underrated, right? This means that he can't be gotten by Medusa or by any steel card, nothing can get him. He can't even be gotten by Big Sisu because he has 3 strength. He can only be removed by Be Prepared or Grab Your Sword.
Yep. That is it.
Absolutely. And then Minnie Mouse, she is evasive and she quests for 2. So that's just awesome.
And she's surfing.
Yeah, she is surfing. There's some Christmas surfing going on out there. And we have 1 action. 4 of you came back, which I think is insane. Ready chosen character. Right? And this means, again, we have 4 copies of characters that quest for 3. So this means that you can play this card and you will just gain 3 lore. It's essentially what it says.
Yeah, that is what it says.
Essentially what it says.
Quest twice.
Yeah. Or you could, I don't know, quest once or something and then ready it to save it for later. But yeah. And I mean, that's the list. And as you can see, there's not a lot of card draw. Yeah, in fact, the only card draw we have is the Captain Hook, right?
Yep.
But we don't need to because we only have things that cost 3. So you can stop inking at 3, right? So you don't need to draw any cards. You just win fast. You don't need to ink much. Just play hey if you need more ink, right?
Yeah.
So this is a very fast, very aggressive, no, BS, no nonsense, straight up. Hey, I'm gonna gain so much freaking lore, and if you can't do anything about it pretty quick, then you're done for.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me.
So yeah, that's Swedish Santa wishing you a god jul och gott nytt år. Ho ho ho.
It's definitely got a really low curve. It's 12 1-drops. We got 4, 8, 12, 16, 24, 28 2-drops.
Almost half the deck are 2 drops, yeah.
And 20 3-drops.
Yeah, that's super duper turbo. Is what I would describe it as.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more turbo than this. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for that, Bjorn. Now, we'll take it over to my Christmas control list.
Christmas control. Yeah, you would have the exact opposite, wouldn't you?
Yeah, why not? And there is something in this deck.
Right, he makes a spice of life.
His location.
Hidden Cove. Of course.
There's a few copies of
I
Hidden Cove.
Yeah, I almost put Hidden Cove into my list too. Because it's just the best location really, if you think about it.
It is really good. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll start off. We have 4 Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
The 1-drop. Let me see that hand of yours.
Yeah, of course, and because you have the big Diablo, right? That's mainly it. Yeah.
And then we have 4 Minnie Mouse. 1 3 for 1, quest for 1. Just 1 more willpower than the Diablo.
Okay. So, all right, I see it.
2 Go-Go's.
Yeah,
right.
so a little bit for the same reason as me, except you don't need it as much because you're trying to play slow.
Yeah, so this is just essentially a finisher.
Yeah.
Then we have 4 Morphs.
Oh, so you have a lot of shifting going on in this deck then.
We have a little bit of shifting. Just, a little bit.
Yeah. I can see
Morph,
that.
2 1 for 2 allows you to shift any shiftable character on top of it. Alone, he quests for 1.
Yeah, it is very useful. It will be very consistent, right?
Yes. And then alongside your deck, we also have the 2-drop Ursula for protection.
Yeah, I feel like if you're playing an Emerald deck and you don't have this Ursula that removes songs, then what are you even doing? Songs are super scary. So I think you're crazy if you don't run this card.
Songs are powerful, so Ursula's powerful.
Songs are still scary.
Then we also have 3 copies of Flynn. So the deck has an approach where it can also be partially aggressive, I would say, as far as netting lore.
Yeah, I mean, he gains 3 lore per turn if you manage to have bigger strength on your opponent.
Yes.
And do you? Because I feel like you would have the characters so far don't have that. So the following characters would have a lot of strength then, huh?
So we also have 3-drop Clarabelle.
Hmm?
If
Oh,
you have
she's
less
good. Yeah.
cards in your hand than your opponent, you draw a card. It's a 2/3 for 3. Quest for 1.
Yeah, sure. And oh, I'm guessing you have the big one then too, huh?
That would be correct. We also have, of
And
course, Shift
here's the big
Diablo.
Diablo.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can shift. And again, you have 4 small Diablo and also 4 morph. So you're almost guaranteed to be able to shift that thing.
Yes, that is the goal.
Almost guaranteed. At least you discard an action card, and you have plenty of those, right?
Yeah, I think we have like 15 action cards.
Oh, yeah, that's very plenty. Yeah, you're gonna have no problem shifting that Diablo.
So, obviously, we know that this guy's a menace. 2/2 for 3, uninkable, quest for 1, but lets you draw a card while it's exerted every time your opponent draws a card.
Yeah,
Every time.
very, very good.
Then we have 3 copies of Hand Sisu. 3 cost, 1/4. It gets +1 for each card in your opponent's hand, and quest for 2.
So I guess my deck it wouldn't have a lot of power because I'm not drawing anything.
I mean, this is true.
But
Against the majority of the
against
decks in the meta, though,
Yeah,
it will help
absolutely.
trigger Flint.
Against 90% of decks, this will be very big, and it will make sure to get the 3 Lore of Flynn. 100%, absolutely.
Then we have 3 Prince Eric.
Oh, I love Prince Eric. When he gets banished, you banish something else, and you can, either you can challenge with him to make sure that he gets banished, or maybe. Question is, do you have teeth?
We'll have to see.
Have to see. Okay.
We have 2 Scar.
Ooh, this is spicy.
So he is built-in teeth. He's a 5
Yeah,
cost
that
4/2,
is like
quest for 3.
Yeah.
And has
The teeth on my
built in.
character.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you quest for 3, which is another like great finisher option you have, and deal 2 damage to chosen character, but hopefully not himself, but something else like the Eric, and then or your mini, 1/3 mini, she can take 2 damage and still be there.
Yep. Or Ursula.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or many other things, right?
That's awesome.
Then we have 2 copies of Basil.
Oh, this base, pretty good.
All right, to kind of help get them to discard things. It's a 4/5 quest for 2, shifts for 4. Whenever you ink, you may pay 1 and have your opponent discard a card. Awesome.
I was just gonna say that you don't have any small basils, but then I remember you have a morph, so you don't.
Yep.
You don't need basil.
Nope.
Awesome. Very strong. You'll be inking a lot since you have a control deck.
4 copies of the cow. Okay,
There
ship 5,
it is.
7 cost, 5/6 quest for 2.
Yep.
At the end of your turn, if chosen opponent has more cards in their hand than you may draw until you have the same number. Now,
Awesome.
typically, really, really good, right? So if
Absolutely.
you're not able to basically throw out your discard package towards them, this will help you get to that point, right?
Yeah.
Just replenish everything.
Again, you have 4 small Clarabelles, but also 4 morphs, so she is going to be able to shift. That's not going to be a problem for you.
Yep. Then 2 Robin Hood,
Oh, that's spicy.
a 9 cost for each 1 damage
Ooh.
an opposing character has. You pay 1 less to play this character. So if there are 5 damage total on any 1 or multiple characters, this will cost 4, as an example. It's a 6/6 quest for 4 and has ward.
I mean, that's insane. That is definitely an insane finisher.
Yes. Now it
That will
becomes
toss up the game.
it becomes even better when you do play copies of Teeth. But we do have 4 copies of Brawl, right?
Yeah.
Something that is very important in this meta at the moment.
Yeah, slow
with
down the
genies and
opponent,
high
like-
rooms.
That's but like against my deck, if I play my stuff like quest for 3, you're like, nah, brawl, and then you slow me down significantly. So
Yeah.
absolutely, that's a super good card for control deck.
4 Sudden Chill.
Yeah, discarding is always nice. Sure, yeah.
Yep. 4 Teeth.
Yeah, so you can either like take something out. Again, if I have a strong quester, you just deal 2 damage to it and that's enough to knock it out, or you just deal 2 damage onto something so that your Robin Hood costs less and you can play that monster out. Super
Right.
good, yeah.
And 3 Be Prepared.
Be prepared.
Look, his best Baker performance. Look at that. And then, like we mentioned at the very beginning, 2
couple Hidden
Hidden Cove.
I
just
like
to
that.
help the
I like
algorithm.
that a lot. Yeah, and honestly, it helps your Flynn too, right? If you have an early
Yeah,
hidden cove and you put something there, it will help you trigger Flynn and get that war. So yeah,
yeah,
this seems like a strong control deck, but also, I mean, towards the middle and late game, you're actually going to be able to quest for a lot if your opponent doesn't stop you. So
yes,
that's pretty scary.
yeah. This deck actually has been doing a little decent in testing. Not
Yeah.
exactly where I want it yet, as far
Hmm.
as performance based. So I don't know exactly where I can tune it up per se
Mm.
because I haven't had a ton of time to do it because I've been playing 52 different other decks, right? But I will
Yeah,
say
of
that
course.
this was going bonkers to the point that I was kind of ticking off some of my teammates. But that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Love you,
And
Fumbles.
that's a win in my book.
Oh, man. So that will be our versions of Ruby Emerald, Emerald Ruby, however you'd like to put it. Our
Yep.
Christmas time deck. Happy holidays early for each of you. This will be uploaded on Christmas Eve. We are recording
Mhm.
the day before that.
Yeah, so in Sweden we actually celebrate on Christmas Eve, and yeah, in a lot of places in Europe actually. So for us it will be perfect.
Awesome. See? Everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason. As always, we greatly appreciate everyone that comes and watches these videos. We do this for you guys. Please leave a comment pertaining to what you like about the decks, if there's something you don't like, something you think that could edit to make it improve, if you have an idea for our next segment.
Hmm.
Anything and everything is always welcome. We are just so grateful, and
Yeah, we love all the comments. We read all the comments.
yes, every single time. Every single comment does not go unchecked, unanswered, unreplied, and unliked. So, once again, we hope you guys have a happy holidays, and we will see you on the next one.